Hey, in this video, I want to show you how you can document your GraphQL services with EventCatalog. So first thing we do is I have a brand new catalog set up in this project here. I have some GraphQL files, right? So these are in the project, but these can be anywhere, okay? And you can pull them into your EventCatalog project. Next, we have the EventCatalog config file. This is the configuration file for EventCatalog. And we're going to be using something called a generator. This is a plugin for EventCatalog, so it knows where to get the information. In this case, what we're doing is we are getting your GraphQL files and we're going to translate them into things like commands, queries, and events, and also document these into EventCatalog. So to walk you through what the hell is going on here, we have the generator. So I've installed this in this catalog. You can read the instructions and documentation how to do that. And then I have a service, right? So I have the order service and it's in this file here. So if I go to this file, we have the order service. If I click on this, we have a GraphQL thing here, some mutations, some queries, and some other things like that, some types, right? So what happens now is we're going to give it an ID. So everything in EventCatalog needs an ID. We're also going to give it a version. So this is the version of that schema, of that service, whatever it is. So for whatever reason, I put 3.5.1 and I'm going to give it a name. Okay, so this is the order service. Optionally, what I'm doing here is I'm actually assigning this service to a domain called the orders domain, right? So we have the service inside of the domain. Next, down here, I have some other things. So I have a payment domain and that's got the payment service in it, and we go on and on and on, okay, just as some examples. So what happens when you've set this up and you have your files here is you go to the terminal and then I'm going to run npm run generate. What this is going to do is actually take the GraphQL files, parse them, and translate them into information EventCatalog understands, okay? So what I'm going to run now is npm run dev, which will spawn the catalog locally on my computer. And now let's head over to the catalog running on my computer. So as you can see here, this is the kind of default one you get out of the box, but I already have 5 domains, 6 services, and 147 messages. So if I click on the domains, we can see we've got the orders domain. The orders domain has that notification service. We have our other domains that we have documented. If I click on this book here, we go to the documentation. And let's have a look at the notification service, right? So everything you see here is actually generated from your GraphQL schema. So as you can see here in the visualizer, we have some commands and queries. So commands would be things like your mutations, queries will be queries, and subscriptions will be events and EventCatalog. So you can see that this service here is accepting these messages from your GraphQL service from your schema. If you go down here, all your operations are documented, so you can see here, 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 and we can actually click on these to view more details and go into each operation itself. So the get notification is this. If I scroll down, I can see a code example of how to do that. Now, if I go back to the service, I can click on this button here, this GraphQL API. We can download the schema, or I can click it here, or on the left, we can click it here. What this will do is actually show the GraphQL schema for your engineers and users if they're interested. So you can kind of scroll down here and see the whole schema that's rendered in EventCatalog. Again, if you go to the visualizer, you can go down and see some of these things. So here is the payment domain. The payment domain has the payment service, accepting these things and raising these particular events. So what happens when you version something and change something in your schema? So let's go back to the code and actually do that quickly. So let's close this down for a second. Close this configuration file. So let's say the order notification service, and let's change something in this particular thing. Let's make that optional, right? So the send notification thing is optional. The notification service, and now I come down to the configuration file, and then I look for the notification service. And what I'm going to do is actually bump it. Let's bump it to a major version, right? So I'm saying, okay, this is a new major version of this service, and that's it. What I'm going to do now is actually run npm run generate. And what will happen here is EventCatalog knows and understands that the version has changed between the previous version. So it's going to version this stuff for us in our documentation. If I run npm run dev, and remember we are looking for the notification service. If we go back to the UI, okay, here it is. And then if we go to the notification service and click on this, we can actually see that we're looking at the old version. We can see a new version of the notification service is there. So if I click on this, this is the new schema. This is the new one that we just added. And as you can see, and then we can also go back in time and look at previous schemas, previous messages and things like that. So this is quite useful if your GraphQL API is changing over time, if people are using various different versions for whatever reason, or if you just want to document and version these things for you. EventCatalog will be able to do that. If you want to test this out yourself, you can head over to eventcatalog.dev. On the website, under integrations, you can click on GraphQL, and then you follow this install instructions here. If you click on that, it'll take you through step by step how it works, what you need to do. You can click on this installation to get started. If you have any queries, any questions, any issues, head over to our Discord channel, top right here, the link, where we can just answer anything or any problems that you have. So I hope you found this quick video useful. Super excited to support GraphQL now alongside Async API and Open API. As you can see here, go back to the homepage, we actually now integrate with a lot of things, and super excited to get GraphQL added into there. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you found this short demo interesting and useful. Thanks a lot.